Good afternoon. Robert Davis here with you. Uh, we're going to do a brief tutorial, a request from a subscriber about implementing a DB checkbox into a DB grid in a Delphi application. And so I spent most of the night uh, working on this, and here we go. Let's do it. We'll bring up Delphi here and take you to the design. This is a simple Microsoft Access database application for contacts. And you see we have all the fields from the table there, and we have a Boolean whether or not they're active on our list of contacts. So we could filter that with is active or is not active, what have you. But the Access database application isn't really the focus of this. Want to learn how to use a DBGrid and implement a checkbox in the DBGrid. So what I've come up with, I'll reveal this to you now, is if I can get this little handle. Well, it's messing with me. Here we go. And you see there's no checkbox currently. So what we'll do, let's see, I jimmied that or something. What we'll do is go ahead and run this and let you see how it works. So here we go. Now you see these are all editable because we have the grid on the form here. And you can see we can check active or inactive or not active. Let's just set them all as active. And watch, we'll close this down. They post the fields to the database. And there we have it again. You can also use this active button. Then you have to scroll off the record to see it update in the grid. I'm sure I can probably figure out how to make it update without any user intervention. But like I said, you close this down and go back, and it saves everything. And let's go look at the code. It's actually not that difficult. So I'm not going to read through all this code and tell you what it all does. You can do that. If you have a desire for this code, shoot me an email, and I'll zip up the application and send it to you. By the way, I'm using Delphi 10.4.2 Sydney on Windows 10, and I'm using a regular Access, Microsoft Access database. So here you see the code: cell click, event code, column enter, event code, column exit, event code. It just resets the original options that were modified above. And you see in the comment, this is the part that does the heavy lifting. And so it sets the rect and draws the checkbox in the grid column. and this handles the key down events, particularly including pressing the space bar, and I'll show you that here in a minute. And then finally, we just set DBCheckbox caption to active. You can set that in the properties just as well. But let's look at this code for, say we're going to edit this. We'll say his name is really Wally, and here we're going to press the space bar instead of clicking the box, and see that handles it just fine. Updates the active down here in the edit region. And let's see if we can do one more here. We'll make Shauna inactive and me inactive, and then we'll close this and reopen it, and it keeps everything tidy. So that's how it's done. In the link to this tutorial, I will put the link to the article that I used to ferret most of this stuff out. But the sky's the limit on your design capabilities and things like that with Delphi. You know, it's very flexible and powerful. So that's all there is to it, and I sure appreciate the question from, I'm going to try to pronounce the name, EVV. Lots of E's. And I appreciate their question and the opportunity to figure this out for you. Oh, one last thing I wanted to mention. If you notice, there's nothing but the checkbox in this active column. Nothing but the checkbox. And what we're going to do, I'll demonstrate this to you. We'll go to the data module and click on the ADO table and go to the active field, and display values is, if you null this or no entry there, this is what happens. You see the text in the DBGrid edit column, and we don't want that. So the simple remedy to this is going to display values and actually just typing the space key, space bar, and watch when we run it now. It's fine. Nothing behind the checkbox. That took a little figuring out, but it just nulls out the space, the field display value of the field, the active field. So there you have it, and I appreciate the request, and we'll see you in the next tutorial. Okay, thanks. Bye.